MC. MC. What are you doing? So, there's that. Hi friends, welcome back. We are here today for another deep dive into my closet. And today, we're gonna do not necessarily a try on of everything, because what's happening is I can tell that sock weather is on the horizon. And I want to show you all of my socks before I start wearing them for the season while they're all nice and clean and I don't have to worry about washing them and making sure I have everything and digging stuff out of the laundry and stuff like that. So we're gonna do socks today, and then I thought we would also do some shawls because I really need to go through those as well. So I just counted before we started and I have 12 shawls and I didn't count my socks. I have 14 pairs of socks to show you in this little basket. So we're gonna go through them as quickly as possible. Oh, no, I found another one, 15. Yeah, 15 pairs of socks. I'm gonna go through these as quickly as possible. And I have given away some socks. So these are not all of the socks I have ever made. I have given some as gifts. So this is just what I have kept in my collection and what I wear on a regular basis. And also, these socks have all been laundered and have not been worn since they've been laundered, but I pulled them out and left this box sitting out for a little while, and we have some sock obsessed pets in the house, and so there might be hair all over these, and we're just not going to talk about it, okay? Okay. Now, for the most part, I do a 64 stitch sock. Nowadays, I usually make them on a US 1.5. I do not do much standard stuff for length of foot or length of leg. I do whatever I feel like. Well, I mean, length of foot I just try it on and stop when it feels good. Length of leg, I just do whatever I feel like doing. I have a bunch of heel flapping gussets. I have some afterthought heels. I have some short row heels. So I'm going to try and go through these as fast as possible without giving you like every single detail about each of them. If there is something unique about a certain pair of socks, then I will let you know what it is. So here we go. I'm gonna do these in the order that I made them, because that's how I have them organized, and we are gonna go through this together. Let's go. Okay, I am pretty much immediately regretting my decision to put these all onto sock blockers. This is gonna take forever. Okay. This is my very first pair of socks. As you can see, they are a little bit big for the sock blockers. I used Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering in the colorway Pumpkin, and a Long Dog Yarn sock weight mini that was just kind of like I think I got it in like an oopsie sale. So it didn't have any kind of name or anything. And that's what I used for the heels, toes, and these little stripes at the top. So this was my very first sock. I followed the My First Toe Up Knit Socks by Marley Bird. This has a German short row heel. It was my first time ever doing German short rows, in addition to my first time doing socks. And these I knit on a US 4. Because that was the smallest needle I had at the time, and I didn't want to invest in more needles if I wasn't sure I was going to like knitting socks. And I was a really tight knitter, so these actually fit me really well, which is embarrassing. Like, I was such a tight knitter that knitting on a size 4 fits me. They're like a little bit less snug than my other socks. Like they don't have as much elasticity around my foot, as much negative ease, but like they fit me great and they like are probably my favorite pair of socks fit wise to wear, which is hilarious. But anyway, moving on. These are definitely not going anywhere. They have been through it. They're quite pilly, but I love them and I will be hanging on to them. Next up, maybe I will talk to you as I do this so then I don't have to do so much editing and I can go a little bit faster. Next up, I did the No Fear Shorty Socks by Denise DeSantis, who is Earth Tones Girl on YouTube. These, I'm not going to show you too close because they are dark yarn and they're covered in hair. Oh my gosh. Okay. These, I made shorties. I used Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering in Spectre, and I did 10 rounds of ribbing and otherwise followed the pattern exactly, and I love them. These, I think I finally went to I don't have it written down, but I'm pretty sure I finally bought an actual sock needle and knit these on a US 2. So there's that. Next, we have my first like real attempt at following like a pattern that wasn't just teaching you how to knit a sock, and my first heel flap and gusset, I think. Nope, the No Fear Shorty Socks had a heel flap and gusset. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. I knit the On the Porch socks by Tracy Miller, who is Tracy of the Grocery Girls, and I used To the Max Yarn Co., which is now Frankie Gray Fibers, and I used, it's in the colorway Pan Pride, and I can't remember if this black mini skein came with this sock set or if it was just a black mini skein from something else. I'm not sure. In the pattern, it instructs you to do different color changes for things, and I just decided to do one color for the sock and one color for the detailing. So those were fun. I'm gonna keep them because why not? But they're probably not my favorite socks. Fit wise, I think I might have made the foot a little bit too long on those, but oh well. Next up, I made these socks that I absolutely love. They are some of my warmest socks that I own. And these are just a pair of vanilla socks that I made. Let's see. Yes, it looks like at this time I was still knitting on a US 2 for my socks, and okay, I cast on 64 stitches. I did 15 rounds of ribbing, and then I did a 120 round tube, decreased to 24 stitches at the toe, and then I cut in for the heel 7.25 inches from the tip of the toe. And yeah, that's it. So this was my first time cutting my knitting, which was really fun. And this, I used Woolens and Nosh Targhee sock in a special colorway that was made for Must Love Yarn, which is a yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont. I, again, probably shouldn't be showing you these up close because there's just hair on everything, but, and they're all pilly, and I mean, like, whatever, they're worn. I wear them all the time. So those are, I made these ones really long. They're very high, but I love them. I love these so much. I love this base. And yeah, highly recommend. Is this gonna be, I might not get to my shawls today. I might not get to shawls today. This is gonna take too long. This is just gonna take too long doing socks. Okay, moving on. Let's see if we can speed things up. I have yet another pair of vanilla socks. This time I wanted to do vanilla socks with a heel flap and gusset. A lot of this throughout the years I have been trying to kind of perfect what I like in socks. Come on, man. how I like them to fit, what heel type feels best on me, what I like to do preference-wise, all that kind of stuff. So this, I used Hedgehog Fibers sock in the colorway Birthday Cake as the main color. And then I had a little bit of leftover yarn from a different project, which is a shawl, which I don't know, I might not get to. And what I used for heels, toes, and this tiny little bit at the top of the cuff is Plymouth Yarn Happy Feet in the colorway Black Neutrals. It's a neutral yarn with black speckles on it. And I have 0 notes on what I did with this, so I'm sorry. But I did a pretty short leg. I actually kind of prefer like, not a shorty, but I don't like my legs too long, so I do kind of like a mid-length. Let's see, this is like what? Probably 30, 35 rounds for a leg. Yeah, that's that. These colors, like, I don't know, they don't really go together that well, but yeah. Next up, I made my very first pair of DK weight socks. And they're not DK weight. They are fingering held double, and they are, these ones are ones that pill a lot and that attract a lot of pet hair. So this is fingering weight held double. I used a long dog yarn. This was, again, I got during an oopsie kind of sale that they did. So neither of these colorways have names, but they're both from long dog yarn. It was a full skein in this tan color and a mini of this brown. They were both fingering weight. Oh my god, there's so many pills. They were both fingering weight, and they're both held double. So I did 5 rounds of 2x2 ribbing, and then I did a 100 round tube. Cool, I didn't even say how many stitches I cast on for this. I think 48. I think I typically do 48 when I am, oh my god, don't look at the hair. I think I typically do 48 stitches when I do DK socks. That sounds about right. So I did a 100 round tube, and I didn't write down where I cut in for the heel, but I did an afterthought heel, and it worked great. I love these. I find that somehow when the less I think about what I'm doing with my socks, the better that they fit. And I will get to that in a second when in a few pairs. Like the harder I try to make socks fit, the worse they fit. And it's really funny. But these fit great. I wear these like kind of as like slippers in the winter because they're really, really warm. Next up is another pair of vanilla socks that I just cast on because I felt like it. And these are made with, I'm still using US 2s. Hadn't changed yet. These are made with Lolo Did It L'Original in the color Hippo Smells Smelly Cat. This was from a friend's club, subscription club that they did. I have that I did 30 rounds for the leg and 70 rounds for the foot. I don't know. That's what they look like. I did a heel flap and gusset. I know that like whenever, so you do however many rounds or however many rows of your heel flap, and then you pick up stitches for each of those rows, or like basically you're slipping a stitch on the end of a row, so you're picking up 1 stitch for every other row, basically. I always pick up an extra one. Just it helps me to have no holes, and then it also gives me just the teensiest bit more space in my foot. So yeah, I like to do that. And that's those. They fit pretty well. I wear these a lot. I don't have much else to say about them. Okay. Hey, we're halfway done. We're halfway. I've been talking for 20 minutes. Cool. Okay, I don't think we're gonna get to shawls today. Holy cow. The next pair of socks I have is with this this really cool yarn that is, what was it called? Wisdom Yarns Picks. I got it at one of my local yarn stores. It's in the colorway Tiger Lily. And this was my first pair of socks that I knit on a US 1.5. So I think also at this time, I don't have it written down, but I was getting into 9-inch circulars, I think. Instead of, I'm pretty sure I can probably, you can probably tell on my socks when I went from magic loop to 9-inch circulars based on the laddering that is happening. Okay, so these ones I did on magic loop, I can tell. These ones I'm pretty sure I also did on magic loop. Anyway, I think my Lolo Did It socks might have been my first foray into 9-inch circulars. I don't know though. I'm not positive. Anyway, pretty positive these were done on 9-inch circulars. And for these, okay, here we go. I'm remembering things now. I absolutely hate doing ribbing on small circumferences. I love to use 9-inch circulars, but I hate doing ribbing. So I also just generally hate doing ribbing for socks. So anyway, I decided to just cast on and let these have a rolled hem. And yeah, because I wanted these to be more like, it's a very, very rustic yarn. I wanted these to be more like slipper socks. So I didn't care about the edge of them. I did a shadow wrap heel. I believe this was my first time doing a shadow wrap heel. And I basically, okay. MC, what are you doing? Okay, so I said, so this is like that kind of yarn that when you knit it up, it makes it look like it's like self-patterning yarn. I have a note here that says, used patterning of yarn to determine length. So I basically knit until I was at like a good spot and then started the heel when I got to this blue, and it worked out really nicely. So I ended up with like a split heel that's blue and orange. And then I once again worked on the foot until I got to that blue. But like, you should use the measurements of your foot. You shouldn't just go based on the patterning of the yarn. Somehow these fit me well, but it's all luck. Okay, next up we have some socks that I started on my trip to Maui a couple of years ago. I used Plymouth Yarn Happy Feet in the color Crayon, and this is something that had been catching my eye so much in my local yarn store for so long, and I finally decided to grab it and make these socks out of it. I have on here that I did a 65 round foot, and I don't know why I did that because I think I needed 70 rounds. So these, I have been thinking for a long time about redoing them. Not redoing, like taking out the toe, adding a little bit of length, and then redoing the toe, because they are actually a little bit short on me. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but they are very snug on the sock blockers, whereas the other socks you might have noticed, these sock blockers are actually a tiny bit smaller than my feet. So the other socks have a little bit of give, and these ones are quite tight. So I don't wear these a ton because they don't fit me that well. Also, I'm really sad and disappointed because the dye bled a lot. Like you can see particularly in the pink, that the dye bled, but some of the blue bled as well. And it makes me really sad because this was like a really crisp white yarn with these bright speckles, and now they look kind of dingy and everything's become a little bit more muddled, and it makes me sad. So it was fun though, because on the plane on the way home from Maui, I was working on these and I sat next to someone that pulled out their knitting, and that was really cool. So that is that. Okay. Oh my gosh. I swear to you, all of these are freshly laundered, but wow. The pet hair, it's just everywhere. Okay. Next, this is a pair of perfect fit socks. And I made these once again on a US 2. I made them in a yarn from a dyer that is no longer dyeing, so it is discontinued. This was a superwash BFL and nylon yarn, and I hate these socks. I hate these socks. Not enough to get rid of them because like they're still, I mean, I feel like it would take socks like completely not fitting me to get rid of them, unless I was, you know, like I've made socks and given them away as gifts, but like for me to make a pair of socks for myself and then decide I don't want it, they would have to like really not fit me. But I hated working with this yarn. I did not, it just feels, ugh, I don't like the feel of it. And so for a long time I thought, man, I must like just really hate BFL. And so I didn't want to spin with BFL until very recently. I finally decided to give it a try, and I actually really enjoyed it. But anyway, I made these using the Perfect Fit sock course from Natalie of Nitty Natty, and this is not a problem with the course or the pattern or anything to do with the instruction. But these are the worst fitting pair of socks I've ever made. I don't know, but like the math is good. The pattern is good. I have like I know that Natalie's work is solid, but like I said earlier, the harder I try to make socks fit me, the worse they are. I will try and see if I have a picture of how how it initially came out. It's ridiculous. If I do, I'll put it here. But at first I tried to do the ergonomic toe that Natalie always does. And what a great idea it is. It sounds so great. I tried to do it and I had this like big flappy thing off the front of my foot. I don't know. I took the toe out and just did like a regular square toe. That's pretty much what I do on all of my socks, by the way, is a square toe. I just decrease evenly, and for me it works. If I'm doing it for someone else and they have different preferences, I will change what I do, but for me I just do a square toe because I am too lazy to think about my decrease rates, and I just want to do it every other round. So I took out the ergonomic toe. I just did a square toe. They fit a lot better now, but like as you can see, oh gosh, sorry. As you can see, this has a fish lips kiss heel. It was the first time I did a fish lips kiss heel, and it just is flopping around off of the sock blockers. It's horrible. I don't know what, like this, what, I don't know. I've learned that a fish lips kiss heel just doesn't fit me as great as some other heels. And that's fine. That's not against the pattern. That's not against anything. That's just my foot shape. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened with these. They fit me just fine now, like enough that I can wear them comfortably. But like these are the ones that I like wear when I'm like, if I want to wear handmade socks and I know I'm going to be wearing like boots and they're going to get all pilly and rubbed, and because I care about these the least. Sorry. but I still like them. Okay. Anyway, next up, I released my very first sock pattern. Well, my only sock pattern. I only have one sock pattern. But these are my ambidextrous socks. And once again, these were made in some yarn that is from a dyer that's no longer dyeing, unfortunately. I was still knitting on a US 2 at this point. And these are my sockos. Okay. Here they are. And they have, let me see if I can get this to show you. They have a slip stitch detail in them that you can do differently on each sock. So you can do counterclockwise or clockwise and then have your socks mirror each other, or you could do the same on each foot if you want to. Yeah, this is my first pattern. My very first pattern that I released, my first sock pattern that I released, everything. I love it. They're lots of fun. Give them a try if you want. Let me know how it goes. Obviously these are not going anywhere. These I actually like don't wear that often because I'm like, they're precious to me. So I do wear them. I do. I just don't wear them quite as often as my other handmade socks because I want to keep them pretty. Okay, next. I was determined to give the perfect fit sock its due because I knew it was good. And I just didn't understand why and I swatched too. I swatched. I don't know. But anyway, I was determined. So I decided, these socks have black in them, so they're really, really showing the pet hair. I went down a needle size. This is my first time using a US 1.5, and I used Mace of Skeins on their Old Spade base in the color Monster Mash, which is a favorite this time of year. I don't know if Macy's going to be dyeing it again ever, but it's a great colorway. And I'm struggling with these sock blockers. There we go. I made them, I think, slightly shorter for the legs, and I don't have any notes. That's it. I'm pretty sure I did everything the same, except I might have done... No, I did the fish lips kiss heel. I just did a shorter leg. I might have done a slightly shorter foot. I know I did a square toe again because I gave up on ergonomic toes and they fit a lot better. So I think just like at that point in my life, my gauge was loosening up a little bit and I needed to go down to a 1.5 and they fit a lot better. So those are those. My legs are falling asleep. I have to move. Ow, ow. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're almost done. Almost done. Next, I made another pair of my ambidextrous socks. I made some shorties because I really wanted to show what this stitch pattern could do with a variegated yarn. It's so interesting to see how it looks different with a solid or tonal yarn and with a variegated yarn. So, almost there. Okay. This I used Sorella Yarn Nylon Sock in the color Reflecting Light. And look at how cool that is. So this in a tonal yarn just looks like texture, but in a variegated yarn, it comes up with this really cool, it like does something to the micro striping that happens and it looks really, really cool. So I love these. I followed the pattern exactly. I just did, I think I did like only one repeat of the texture pattern on the leg before diving into the heel. Oh, and by the way, this pattern has a shadow wrap heel, but it could easily be substituted with whatever your preference is. The next pair of socks that I made, this is wild to think about how long ago I made these. I made these about a year ago, and I started them on my trip to Norway. I knew that I wanted to bring some knitting with me, but I also knew we were trying to do the whole thing in backpacks, and so it was, you know, not a trip that I could bring large projects on. So I just brought a pair of socks. This is Lana Grossa Extreme Color. There's another word in there, but I don't know how to say it. And it's in the colorway 4602. I did 135 rounds. I just made a tube, 135 rounds long, and then I cut in at 7.25 inches from the tip of the toe for a heel, and I did like a little bullseye heel. So these were really fun. These flew. I did not finish them on vacation, but they kept me quite entertained while we were doing our thing. And as you can see, these are the tallest socks I own. This has a really, really long leg, and I really like these ones. They are, I don't know what the, fiber content is, but it's non-superwash, I think. Let me see. Yeah, 80% wool, 20% nylon. That being said, I've definitely thrown these in the laundry before, like in the washing machine. So they're a little bit more rustic, but they're nice and warm, and I really, really like these socks. And then we only have one more pair of socks, which is wild because that means I almost haven't, it's been almost a year since I've knit socks. Not quite, it's been 9 months because I knit these at Christmas time. This is the Woolens and Nash Targhee sock once again in the 2023 Advent color. Now I got this during like a leftovers sale that they were having before what is that? Sorry. A leftover sale they were having before the before Christmas. And so people that got the official set got a mini skein that matched this gray for the heels, toes, and cuffs, and I got a brown, but that's okay. I don't mind. I like it. I did a tube. I cut in for heels, toes, and cuffs. I have 0 notes written down, so there's that. I like these. I like them a lot. But I have been in a massive sock slump ever since. Oh, and this is like exactly all of what I got. I got like one full repeat of the colors. And that was like part of the deal was you might get like, it's enough for shorties, but maybe not for full socks. But for me, it was enough to do, I just did the whole repeat and then I cut in where I needed to. And these are actually like a really decent length of a leg for me. So anyway, that's it. Those are all of my socks. I am not getting rid of any. So this was not a very productive handmade closet go through thing. Okay, I have officially been sitting here for 40 minutes talking about socks, and hopefully I will cut out some of this so that you don't have to listen to 40 minutes of me talking about socks unless you're like really interested in knowing what socks I've made. Anyway, I now have to get these all back nicely in this box so that I can retake my thumbnail, because I took a thumbnail before I started with shawls and socks, but I'm not going to subject you to like 75 hours of shawls and socks. So we're going to do a different episode on shawls. I don't know why I thought that I would be able to get through these that quickly. But anyway, I appreciate you being here. Let me know which socks are your favorite, and if you have any sock preferences. I am still like kind of changing my mind and determining what I like to do and what my favorite things are. Let me know. Let me know what you like. I think it's interesting. Are you a magic looper? Are you a 9-inch circular person? Are you a DPNs? Or what's the other option? Flexi flips? 2 at a time? How do you knit your socks? Let me know. If you enjoyed this and you are liking this series, please make sure to like and subscribe so that I know you want to see more of this, and then you will make sure that you don't miss any more of my closet go through thing. Thank you so much for coming along, and until next time, I'm gonna go put these away. Take care of you, and I will see you later. Bye.